Not in the desert.
Welcome back, friends. As you can see here, I've gathered a group of expert commentators for us to do in-character Super Bowl. Couldn't even finish it.
No.
Instead, just like the Super Bowl, we will also be taking something from one end of a field to another in order to dunk it and get paid in the process. And maybe we'll feel like champions at the end of it. Previously on this show, these fine individuals entered into a duel. The duel, was it a trick? Was it a mistake? Was it a trap? One of them ended up in the city of Brass, which I'm told is a subplane of the plane of fire rather than on the plane of fire itself. I didn't look it up, so I'm not willing to argue with people about it. But my boy ended up in the city of Brass, where he didn't want to be, encountered a drow proto-lich who tried to become best friends with him and hire him. And the rest of the party argued with a judge and then finally made a deal with a warlock patron for what that's worth. A lawful evil warlock patron.
A lot of good decisions.
A deal made by a chaotic good elf with a lawful evil warlock patron.
It's gonna be a wild one when that call for collect comes in.
I'm not wanting that bill for sure.
Your ask was that whatever favor they call in, that it not be against your moral code, which I think you don't realize how wide that could possibly be. Especially as a chaotic character.
But a good character at the same time.
Meanwhile, we've continued to not talk about certain events happening within the party, such as the fact that Bearded's character murdered a bunch of people and set them on fire, such as the fact that James's character was seen crying and nobody cared or asked in any way about it. But this group is really insular, so I guess that's their vibe. Instead, all of you have been paid a fat 1,000 gold, although one of you... you all got paid during the episode, except for Sparky, who got prepaid. He pre-registered at the guild for his payment. You are defending the caravan of the Sixth Circle of the Dancing Elephant, which is led by Caravan Master Skosh, a Knoll Dire Porcupine Rider. And for a second in command, Factor Call Brendor, a human whose pants are having trouble staying up, who seems like he's having a really, really bad caravan trip. It's longer than a week. It's longer than a month. It's a bad time for him. I think that's got us caught up.
Yeah.
Let's meet some of the folks. I assume the caravan isn't leaving until the next morning, so let's describe this. Elephants, lots of them, almost entirely elephant driven. As a result, all of the carts and wagons are sufficiently large to need an elephant or multiple elephants to drive them. So while the wheels are still placed as if one was going to get in the standardized rut that the Southern Trade Road has, we got an oversized load situation where the carts are dangerously wide and creaking under their own weight as a result. One of the 75 carts, wagons, and otherwises is filled with people who are poisoned, and the cure for the poison lies back in the Hobgoblin lands. You are headed back to the Hobgoblin capital with this caravan, where it is hoped these people will still be alive long enough to be healed. Other things that are being carried in this: a fat stack of Imperial coin. Imperial gold coins are a prime export right now. As you know, it is very difficult to get your hands on them. And so these people are grabbing as much Imperial currency as they can while it still exists and taking it south where the coin is good. From what you can tell, the Hobgoblins and all their attendant national races all use Imperial coin as a very reasonable, exchangeable currency between their cultures. So they all have their own thing, and then they use the largest country in the entire world's money source as like their international currency. Which, it's a little weird, but they're 100% behind it. Swords, spears, shields, full plate, whatever's going on down south, they have spears, and you see that of the 10 guards, all 10 of them have spears, but those are like wood haft metal tip ends. They're getting like full on dwarven wrought, full like mithril ultra lightweight spears. They're getting castle forged steel, full plate. It's like breastplates, all sorts of crazy metal stuff that apparently they either can't get their hands on or need more of in the South. In a variety of foods and also animals. There's just a whole pig truck that has picked up northern pigs. When I say north, I mean like way north in the Empire. Huge, like barely domesticated super hogs, little more than boars, are being trucked down south where apparently they're considered a noble delicacy. Let's talk about some of the people you meet. The 10 guards who guard this caravan only speak Goblin in common with you. They are all hobgoblins. They appear to be of a pretty low caste. They're all fairly athletic. They're led by Zartosh. You're not really sure how it's spelled because every time you ask someone, they tell you a different way to spell it.
And she was a Knoll, wasn't she?
No, that's Skosh. That's the caravan leader.
Okay.
The hobgoblin guards, it looks like whoever was in charge of the guards died. So now they're just going on like a seniority higher order. You're getting the feeling why they've hired additional guards right now as you talk to them. Their whole thing is forming up into a phalanx line and fighting together, which does not work well when you are on the move. Their current plan is to continue to find pieces of wood, carve them into javelins, and then put a pile of javelins in every wagon so that no matter where they are when the caravan is attacked, they can pick javelins up to throw. It's not the worst strategy ever.
So, Guineria,
Yes.
given that you are both smart and charismatic, and you speak Goblin,
Yes.
it probably shouldn't be too hard to pull this motley group under your wing, and maybe we can try and direct them better.
That's a good possibility. I'll do that. Sure.
Let's talk about the 3 other mercenaries that were also hired on. It should be no surprise to you that Zorkon, the Githzerai monk who you battled, is also here. He shares a moment with you, Bearded. His character looks at you through the veil because I don't think you two have ever met. You briefly passed each other when oh my gosh, Andrew, I cannot remember the name of your character. How is this possible? Godric. When Godric came back from the other realm, the two of you briefly passed as the Githzerai was being released. Other than that, you two have never talked. You get the idea that their weird glowing psychic eyes beneath the veil give you a look, and there's something about their body language for a moment before they kind of turn and move away. There are also 2 elves or half-elves. Their names are Teal and Mente. He appears to be a half-elf, probably not a wizard. He doesn't have a spell book, but he is capable of casting magic. And a female elf or half-elf, she's wearing a cloak that is hooded with a frog's eyes and head, and then around the collar is a frog's mouth, like a tongue, and on her shoulder she habitually keeps a small frog familiar.
That's a very powerful magic item.
It is indeed a very powerful magic item.
No, the cloak.
Guineria, you recognize that their names in Elven mean cease, as in the end of a thing, specifically the end. It's the end of a poem or like a musical score. And mente means point, as in like stabbing point, like rapier.
I was expecting to assist. Was the second one?
Are there any like hatches on top of any of the carts in the lineup?
Yeah, there's some carriages and such that have like sleeping areas up top and like something to get down inside of them very easily.
Okay. from the
Were
top. Okay.
Teal and Mente, were they both half elves, or was one a half elf and one an elf?
It's hard. I mean, I feel like Gwyneria is probably the only one capable of telling apart an elf and a half elf without a quick perception check.
Okay.
But she would tell you that they are both half elves. They have slightly rounded features.
All right, just making sure my notes are correct.
Yep.
Those are solid.
The biggest threat that appears to be on the docket here, beyond just like random bandit raids, like this caravan is massive, right? This is like a once in a season caravan, so it takes a very serious threat to threaten them. It is a 10-day ride down to the border. The rolling scrub lands turns into a desert. After that, it's 15 days to the capital. After the first few days, the deserts become the territory of these extremely aggressive territorial gnolls, specifically gnoll riders. And the most powerful of these groups, the White Riders tribe, appears to have set out to destroy this caravan. Not for like economic gain, although they did take from the 25 destroyed carts and such, as far as people could tell. It seemed like it was a terror attack meant to dissuade this caravan, either kill all of them or dissuade them from returning again. What you learn is that the people of this caravan believe that the White Riders are invincible. Like literally invincible. People swear that they fired crossbows at them and they were uninjured. The attack came in the middle of the night, and many of the guards were just slain outright. They also speak of a champion among the White Rider tribes, Skakoshe, who is the master archer of all of the Gnoll tribes.
Does the Gnoll culture have anything along the lines of a challenge as such? Like, is there a way
No,
to
there's
try
no
and...
convenient way to like draw them out or anything.
Okay,
like
because I've done well with archer-based challenges in the past. So
yes, there is no like code of honor to force someone into a one-on-one fight. There are cultural precepts of like offering trade between family members and like intermarrying tribal families and such like that, but none of you are goblinoid or gnollish, so it's not going to apply to you. And there's no knight style culture in the South.
is it? So it's. I'm assuming it's a road or other sort of like laid path that the caravan's following, rather than just going across country.
Yes, it is a sandstone path that was fortified at great cost by the hobgoblins.
Known as the Fury Road.
It is not known as the Fury Road, although you're good to call it that. You can call it whatever you want. You will definitely not upset people who use this road as their livelihood.
So normally, if you're going to attack a caravan and your intent is to do damage or kill the people on the caravan, that you start by taking out the front and the rear components so that the middle part is trapped, unable to easily move ahead. So I'd say that if we're setting up where we want to defend, we want to make sure we've got good coverage on the front and behind to observe when that attack's going to happen. And even though we're talking about wheeled vehicles, we'd need to be ready to get the caravan to zipper out effectively to try and form two paths of movement as fast as possible if it's attacked, so that you're not talking about the entire group being stopped.
I totally agree, and that's why I'm in the middle.
Well, I have a gift for this Sakoshe.
Yeah, Sakoshe.
Sakoshe. Yeah, I have a gift that I want to give. A lightning bolt to the face. And I think that might be something.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. At the moment that we show they're vulnerable, we could potentially get some more support from the caravan itself if they feel that they outnumber the attackers and the attackers aren't superior. But
So just to be clear, the people on this caravan will defend it with their lives. Many already have.
We're just here.
They
as
just
backup.
aren't they just aren't trained, right? They aren't fighters, they aren't magic users. They have crossbows and spears.
The muggles.
The people attacking them are trained desert warriors attacking at night with advantage against a large encampment, well lit. It did not go well. I think to your point, James, I'm not making you roll for any of this, but given that you appear to be doing some level of preparation, you find out that your plan sounds correct. Like, such a group should attack the beginning and end of the caravan. Their attacks were random and indiscriminate throughout the entire line of the caravan, which seems confusing.
Can I spend 100 gold buying a bunch of bullseye lanterns to hand out to the various, so that at least, because obviously if our caravan sets up, then we're an easy target. But the ability to actually sort of turn spotlights onto attackers helps to reduce their advantage.
Good start. I assume you're getting a barrel of lantern oil to go with that.
Yep.
Of course.
How many vehicles in the convoy, so to speak, and how long is convoy from? Okay, so it's got to be like probably at least like a mile long front to back.
Yeah. It was some make way for Prince Ali shit, but just elephants.
I was gonna say that earlier. I just didn't want to.
Just elephants. 100% only elephants.
So my intent for myself was to try and ride at the back, because that way I can at least provide some care to the people that are suffering from the poisoning, while also keeping an eye on the rear of the caravan. But if we're all spaced out, then we are effectively in 4 separate combats, not together, given the size of this caravan.
How big is a caravan end to end?
James is estimating about a mile, which I think sounds right.
Okay.
I think I'd probably be at near the back with Kitherix.
Okay, then I'll stay middle towards the front with Wineria.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I know Kitherix's plan is to stay at the back and heal anyone whose like health drops too low from the poison. I want to be back there to help perform like any last rites if anyone does happen to die from the poison.
Okay. I'd like you to make a medicine check real quick. This is going to be like for the entire caravan, this one roll.
Who's making the medicine check? Is it?
It's Godric.
Okay.
You can do it.
Yeah, with a
Can do it.
19 on the die, you can do it. I think that based on your vigilance and your newly found clerical abilities, you have no way to cure them of the poison, but you can help alleviate the symptoms. But more importantly, anyone who is at risk of dying, you can keep from dying, which is pretty important. And thus, it is done. You keep, you over the next few days, you will keep several people from passing on into the halls of their fathers, as they call it.
So I'm assuming, by the way, the caravan stops at night. They don't walk the elephants through the day and night.
So first off, the caravan hasn't even left yet. This is the prep from the night to the morning.
Yeah.
They do stop at night, but during the 2-day long stretch, about 15 days into this travel, so 5 days into the desert, they are going to pull a 48-hour no stop, keep moving, even at night. They want to spend as little time as possible in White Rider tribe territory. They greatly fear a second attack. As a consequence of doing that, they're going to be slowing down, approaching that point to make sure all the animals are like fully rested, that everyone has like eaten well, because it's going to be like a 48-hour nightmare of not sleeping. It's going to be extremely punishing and grueling going through a desert with no sleep for 48 hours. So
Indeed.
what would normally be a 25-day journey, they're estimating will be longer, like 30 days. Quinaria, I heard a plot for you to
Befriend some
befriend
goblin speakers.
Zartosh, the hobgoblin leader. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't hear the word befriend. I think I heard the word take command of. But you know what? This is your scene to tell me what you want to do with it and how you want to approach it.
I'm not going to. It was suggested that I take command.
What would you like to do?
I would
My
like
words
to
would take under her wing.
under my yes. I would just like to introduce myself, and ask questions about the attacks, how best we can work together, how we can plan, how I can be of assistance. Are there any goblin songs that I can sing to boost morale?
They ask how many sand shanties you know.
I might know one. Teach me some more, and I will gladly work the melodies and play the music to accompany
I'll tell you
them.
what, we're both going to make performance checks.
Okay.
They're going to teach you some of their sand shanties.
Okay.
All right, they do pretty. They're fairly average. Okay, you do amazing though.
Because that's what I do.
Some of these are half remembered, and the thing about shanties is that only the shanty man is singing the full lyrics. Everybody else just has to remember the chorus.
Mhm.
But together, they piece together, the songs of the sands that their people sing. As a result of these sand shanties, you're beginning to realize something that they might have thought was inherent knowledge, but no one has actually said to any of you. Is that the White Rider tribe, they use sand sail carts. They are literally sailors. They sail using the desert winds seasonally. And you like listen to the lyrics and you speak Goblin, and you're listening to various songs about sand sailors, and you're like, what the hell is this? And then you like sail cart and like sail cloth, and you're like, whoa, hold on a second. Am I singing about a land boat with wheels?
You know what would happen to those if they get close? Thunderwave. Shatter them. Sure. Okay. That's important to know.
So it's that kind of endemic knowledge that they would assume everyone knows, because everyone in the South knows about the White Rider tribe and the white comes from the color of their sails. But they would never think to tell you about it, because it would be like me saying to you, water is wet, or,
water is wet.
Cars go fast.
Life needs things to live.
Cats hunt birds.
Yeah, that's probably the best example so far. Imagine describing a cat to someone who's never seen one before, and they put it next to a bird.
Yeah.
We were playing Valheim.
You want to develop a goblin version sand shanty of the Countess as a silly cow. Yeah, all right, I'll give you that. If you want to spread the word of what Countess Viviana to the south into the Hobgoblin Kingdoms, let's do it. All right.
Yeah, that wasn't the
She will be known among her enemies before she ever visits them.
That's the version I'll create for them.
You shall not be known among your enemies. Forever you shall meet them.
Yes.
That's what you get with that performance roll. Any other preparations you all want to make overnight and in the morning? It should also be noted that critical morale drop in the caravan due to a lack of alcohol.
I was literally just about to say I grabbed some alcohol before we leave.
There is no alcohol to grab.
No.
Godric bought all of it and
You
already
bought all of we bought. Can I grab some from our stock?
No, he shipped it off days ago.
This is gonna be a dry trip. This is gonna suck.
Gonna be fine. Don't worry about it.
Not gonna be fine.
I doubt Scotch wants to be nursing a recovering alcoholic guard, but okay.
I know I have proficiency with the brewer's kit, but I don't know if I actually bought the tools.
You cannot brew new alcohol on the move like this.
On a Mad Max style
Somewhere
trip.
out there's a movie about taking wine on an airplane and why it was a bad idea with Eliza Dushku in it. So I know that you're not supposed to shake hops up a bunch. Oh my God, down with an elephant cart? Because of a movie about California, I guess. First off, you don't have any of the components that, even if you had a still, which I don't think a brewer's kit gives you. You could buy that here
I just need a couple of barrels, some honey, and some yeast.
I feel like that might be in the cards for you. Honey would be, you'd have to make a roll to get the honey. Everything else, not so bad.
I literally have like one
make
vial
a
of
really
alcohol
simple
on
mead
me.
with just honey and yeast. And I mean,
I'm gonna make you roll
first
for
couple,
that though. Just
the first
to be
couple
clear.
of weeks will be dry, but
You don't want to get like potatoes and make spirits.
I mean, if I got potatoes, there's other things I could do with potatoes.
Boil them, mash them, put them in a stew.
Yeah. I think the day before the caravan leaves, though, I'm gonna work on like prepping extra rations for the party. And like preserved, like smoking meats, salting meats, things like that. Just keeping us well.
So you guys
like,
are going to get your
nutritionally fed.
own rations, essentially?
Just enough to get us through till we start making camp.
Okay.
So it's, I think you said 48 hours before we take our first camp.
No. Sorry. After you're 15 days into the transit, you hit White Rider Tribe, and they're going to do a 48-hour no sleep continuous move through there. They set up camp every night regularly.
Okay.
So several notes. A barrel is 70 pounds. So you tell me how many you think your dire sheep can carry. On top of you and all of your combat gear and everything you own on your back.
Can we not put anything on the caravan?
Yeah, I was just going to say put it on a caravan
I
cart.
feel like there's pretty much no space in the caravan, more or less. Like, this is a trade caravan. They're coming back fully loaded.
Well, where were they going to put the alcohol they were going to buy before there was no alcohol?
They have now filled it with swords instead.
Are there javelins for sale in Orangebaum?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I want to buy some javelins for.
Okay.
for the
You can
guys.
get, you know what? As long as you're buying less than 1,000, you can buy as many as you want.
Oh, I wanted to just buy 50.
Okay, that's a fuck ton, but okay.
If you can find 50 javelins,
They're orcs. They have 50 javelins ready to go.
that's 25 gold. I can do that.
Something you said before, Asa, just struck a note with me. So the people that are poisoned, how did they become poisoned?
The White Rider tribe weapons are poisoned, but it's not like arrows or anything like that. They use close range blow darts from their sail wagons. So it's like a direct injection thing.
Okay.
It's like Crackamoras from. Was that movie?
I just wonder if there's any
Moana?
chance that maybe things like their food supply was contaminated originally as well.
Doesn't seem like it.
Okay.
James is looking for the
You
inside
guys bought
man.
all my preparations. I can't believe it.
I'm going to need a quick charisma roll from you, Godric, to acquire some honey.
Okay. Just straight charisma.
Yes.
If it looks like they've used the blow darts coated in some sort of natural poison, would you allow a nature roll to try and identify the poison?
Yes.
Oh, I should have put guidance on myself first.
You didn't need it. You absolutely can get as much honey as you want.
Okay.
Something like 70 pounds worth of honey to fill one barrel. I
will
don't know
allow
what
myself
your
that.
honey to yeast ratio is, but
I don't know off the top of my head.
Tell me about
but,
your
I'm
macros.
assuming Godric knows since he's proficient with
Thought you was
macros.
macros. God, we're getting into macros.
Kitrix, we've got a poison roll. Did you
guided myself.
guidance yourself?
Yep.
With a 25?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are obviously a nature ranger. You are no stranger to poison. This is a injury poison. It's pretty cheap and easy to come by. Honestly, you think that you could probably make this poison.
What I'm interested in is could I make some sort of topical thing
antidote, maybe?
Well, not so much. We already know that we don't have what they need to cure the poison here, but could it be something that could give someone an advantage on their con save? You know, like if they take something to help them, like if it's injected,
make a medicine check.
Yeah. Right. You know what? I'm going to cast Guidance again. I'm going to keep saying the same word.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, 24. Yeah.
Damn.
Yes. So you don't know that this poison has a name here in the north.
Not a bit leaf.
It is a combination of 3 different scrub plants that seems to, when muddled together, have a extremely minor reaction that is across many species. It affects the liver. And you know with your medicine that like just like a simple like making sure that they move. So they're doing everything they can to make sure these people don't move. You know that the opposite needs to happen. That these people need to be kept slightly active and moving around, and also receive kind of like a liver massage. Like someone needs to get in there and like rub their belly and like the side of their body just to make sure. Yeah, I need to look at Beard. Beard is like the liver massage. No way.
Not doing
I
that.
thought you were about to say the only cure was alcohol.
Listen, that probably helps. It probably helps. I got a liver massage for him right here.
Alcohol is a poison. It makes it so much worse.
Alcohol
actually.
does massage your liver.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
not how any of that.
So
No.
I will be doing whatever I can to apply that knowledge during the journey with it. Whether it means training others, and it means doing it myself.
I think people get a aura of command from you. Like no one in this caravan is like a trained healer, right? When you come forward and you tell them about this quick top 10 tips for how to deal with what they're calling Dasari poisoning, they are just, they do it, and the people, it's not like they're cured, but they feel better. They no longer feel as if they need to lie.
It's the placebo effect in action.
No, it's not placebo. It's very real. Anything else?
All right, so let me walk through this mead thing with you.
Oh Jesus, we're getting in depth. All right, let's do it.
So, okay.
Listen, this is important, okay?
Well, no, because you're like, you can get as much honey as you want, and I'm like, that's a dangerous thing to say to a player.
Again, I want to be clear. You have at least one, maybe more, 70-pound barrel. Okay, and
Okay.
you have to manage your sheep's inventory. The sheep has a carrying capacity. You cannot go over that carrying capacity.
I just love that we roll into this town and we just deplete significant resources down to zero.
Yeah, we're here to help.
Taking all the alcohol
So,
and all the honey.
Here's what I'd like to try to do.
Okay.
I want to get 3 almost full barrels of honey because I need room for the yeast.
Yeah.
I want to get 3 more empty barrels so I have somewhere to move it over as it's the fermentation process goes on. So as the mixture becomes mead, I need to be able to move it to a barrel where there's not like yeast sitting on top of the liquid.
Sure.
I'm gonna drop the 15 gold to get a cart for my sheep, and because I already said for the first couple of days at least, I'm gonna be riding in the last caravan with all the injured people, helping take care of them.
Well,
So I don't need to.
this caravan is now 76.
But I want to take the 1 barrel of the mead mixture and the 1 empty barrel down to the lady we've been staying at, and tell her that in about a week she'll have sellable like wine that she can market. So while the rest of the town is out of booze, she will have at least something she can sell in her shop.
Okay. Buying that much honey is 540 gold pieces.
Okay. I can do that.
You are bringing one barrel. Sorry, you're bringing 2 barrels to Mistress Navish, Korek's mother sister, and telling her how to move it to the second barrel so that she can be the only person in town with a reasonable supply of alcohol.
Yes.
Okay.
So she'll have at least 1 barrel of mead after about a week.
Okay. Well,
And then-
that's going to sell for a hell of a lot more than 540 gold. That's going to be some premium market rates on that mead.
And then I'll have 2. And after the first week of travel, I'll have 2 barrels of mead with us in the caravan.
Okay.
Don't worry, I plan on, as long as it's not just us drinking, I plan on selling some of the mead back to the caravan.
To the caravan? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good plan.
It's gonna be one of us drinking.
I mean, you created artificial scarcity. You can charge what you want for it.
Very true.
Mistress Navish offers that if you want to leave anything at her inn, she'll take care of it until you get back. You will also go to the Unspoken and make sure that your magic items stay with her rather than just lying around at his open air forge that he never seems to leave.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Yes.
She'll take
Okay.
care of your stuff in town. Korek sees all of you off. You have paid him for many more days of service, but he will not be traveling south with you.
Nope.
He is a Orishbon kind of guy, but he definitely appreciates that you hired him and that you have definitely stimulated the local economy through your chaos.
Yes.
Speaking of leaving things behind, I just realized I have a horse that I could totally take with me on this trip. So I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that.
Okay, you bring your horse.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to figure the math out on this, but my plan with the mead is whatever we sell back to the caravan is just going to be enough for me to break even.
Okay.
I just didn't want to affect morale. Like, I know it's going to be down for the first week, but once the boost starts flowing, then
And that's what
Should
we
help 'em out.
appreciate about you.
so I spent 500 and something on the 3 barrels of meat. I'm hoping to make back the 500 that I invested. So it'll technically be a little bit of a profit because I don't expect to see anything back from the lady I gave the third barrel to, but
Yeah.
that is my plan, and I'm too tired to try to figure math on that right now.
Okay, that's fine. We can wait until you're ready. This trip is not going to be a 1 episode kind of thing, round trip here. That's not happening. Anything else any of you want to do before you leave?
Rations for my horse, I guess, if I don't already have them.
Oh boy, you better ensure that you do.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. You're probably gonna call me on it.
So I think that Kithtrix is a outcast or whatever the one is that allows you-
Outlander?
Yeah, but I don't think that covers mounts as well. I mean, you guys have a diversity of mounts at this point that probably exceeds her limit. So you are going to want to make sure you have enough feed to get there and back. And it should be
Yeah.
noted that in the South, they don't exactly have horse feed because they don't exactly have horses.
Gotcha.
So
We
unless you
can-
have elephant feed ready to go.
I was gonna say, we can take any feed and put it in the cart that I'm hooking up to the sheep.
Yeah, that. How many monies is that?
You want, let's call it safe,
For the-
60 days round trip feed.
Yeah.
All right.
I can feed
It's
6. Wonder lets me feed 6 creatures per day.
Okay, well,
Creatures?
that will cover it then.
Okay. Boom. Never
Because
mind.
Sparky
then.
doesn't eat, so it's the 4 of you and then 2 mouse.
Okay.
because I was gonna say animal
I mean,
feed
technically
comes up
Sparky
to-
does eat, but Sparky consumes an irregular diet of rare and valuable currency, removing it from the universe forever.
animal
we can
feed
still-
is
we can still
cheap. It's
buy
5
some-
copper per day.
We can still buy some food anyway. Like, we should still bring stuff because there's going to be days when had enough. I just don't want to hunt.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
month, you know.
So
I will bring 20 days worth of feed for the horse.
So feed per day is 5 copper pieces and weighs 10 pounds.
5 times 20 is 100 copper pieces, which is a gold piece.
Yes.
Okay, boom, gold piece it is.
And it weighs 200 pounds. So that cart is quickly getting sagged down. I feel like you're dire. Maybe it needs to be the dire sheep and the horse are both pulling the cart. Otherwise, this thing is it's rocking easily 1,000 pounds at this point.
But
it's going to be struggle bus for the first week.
Yeah.
The horse and the dire sheep get on though.
Let's have both you make animal handling rolls, and we'll see.
Or do they become fast food?
Thanks, Ketherick.
We'll see. Wow, Bearded, are you upset you're being asked to make a dice roll?
Animal handling?
That I'm
That's
probably not
crazy.
going to go well in.
This is the first time I've seen this in my entire history.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh crap! I keep forgetting to give myself guidance.
The horse considers.
Can I
the
retroactively
dire
give myself guidance?
I mean, you can roll a d4.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, 12.
Does that mean it's better than a 9?
I mean, they're not friends insofar as they formed a long-lasting communal bond between them, but it's like when you see a puppy and a kitten get together for the first time and they're like, oh, okay, this is different, but I'm okay with it.
Which one's the puppy?
They give
Which
each
one's the
other
bitches?
space. They understand, their purpose is to draw this cart and that they're going to be together a while and that the sheep is much, much bigger than the horse. And so it's not to be fucked with.
One day we're going to get captured and those two animals are going to work together to save us. They're going to find the
I highly doubt that.
It's like in
Homeward
Dragon
Bound?
Age. When,
Homeward Bound. That was such a good movie.
Sorry, where were you going, Andrew?
in Dragon Age, there's a part in Origins where you get captured, and you and Alistair are talking about who's going to save you, and you can cheerfully chime in that your dog is going to come and get you.
The Mastiff?
Yeah, and the Mastiff will actually lead the party to come to the rescue.
Incredible. We'll see. I remember someone wanted one of the flying hippogriffs of the local
That would
area.
be me.
Yeah. Hithrix never did capture it and bring it to you, did they? Probably because it takes years of training.
Mostly.
Once
Still
you've
kinda salty
captured
about
one,
it.
because they are intelligent beasts. It takes hours for the caravan to leave the caravanserai and exit the walls, but they do so to the cheering of the locals, who seem excited to see this caravan. Maybe not this one specifically, but it means huge trade deals. Rare inks flow in here. It's going to mean more money, but also the four of you and Sparky also get a series of cheers because you have also thoroughly divested this town of so much of its goods in exchange for material wealth and imperial coin, which are in short supply. The economy basically fucked by your travel.
We're here to help. Let us fucking come to your city.
Look, they may have some inflation problems for a little bit.
Dude, it's all gonna level out. It's all gonna get good.
It will quickly level out.
Yeah.
Twitch is having some problems right now, so if you're watching live, there may be some flashing on the screen right now. Not that you'd ever know, because
sheesh.
So as a side conversation with the group, I was thinking about this whole Orthodox issue and the collecting of the currency, and the fact that already we see this discontent around this paper currency. We could probably try and fan that discontent. I was thinking we could try and put out bad forgeries of the currency, try and feed it into the community, and undermine people's trust in the paper
Let me
economy.
ask real quick.
If we get caught,
why are you undermining Lord Ortholex and the paper currency?
because we know that he is the person that the evil half dragon worked for, and that we've sort of talked about the potential repercussions of somebody who might be working for the dragons.
Just making sure. Sure.
Yeah, we had a pre-conversation last week where you were off during the break when you were off the camera, where we agreed that our characters don't know that he's a dragon, but we're assuming that he's working for the dragons.
If nothing else.
Extremely reasonable assumption. Extremely reasonable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So your plan is to devalue imperial currency, which should be noted.
Undermine it. It's people's trust in the paper system.
I just want to let you know that is technically a capital crime, punishable by death, and is actually would also be an act of war. It is funny. I just want you to be aware that the level of crime that you're asking for is basically almost as bad as declaring war on a country. Like, it's a form of economic warfare. The emperor supports this currency, and so you are directly contravening the will of the empire. As long as your characters are aware of that and are okay with openly discussing that in front of a caravan of a foreign nation.
This is a quiet conversation that we're having, not in Goblin.
Okay. All right. Just as long as you're aware of the consequences.
I think Godric would chime in. Instead of doing something that could earn us the ire of another nation, since we have the keep and we're trying to set up trade deals, we could just make it so that we only trade in coin. Gold. We don't trade. We don't accept paper. Because we're dealing with multiple countries, and those other countries might not take the paper currency. So we need something that's tangible that'll hold its value.
And we're still kind of like getting our feet under us, right? And they're like a whole nation, so probably not a great idea at the moment. Definitely come back to it.
Yeah, and who's gonna make the counterfeits? Because it's not gonna be Grenier.
I was just talking long-term plans. I mean, Godric's now a cleric of the Forge, right? You'll be able to fabricate things, in a while.
I mean, within reason, but I'm also, I'm not going to openly break the law using the powers of my god.
Yeah, we secretly break the law, Kithrix.
Forgery is very artistic. You need an artist.
I was going to say, out of character, Godric is like lawful neutral, so he's not. He's not going to.
The problem we might face is our enemies are going to use the law against, well, not us, but against the world.
Well, it's great that you're an amazing lawyer.
Not an amazing lawyer. I just talk a lot.
Which
that's what lawyers do, right?
Is what lawyers do.
All right. Just, I'm just throwing out ideas there about how we can. I mean, this is, once again, all long-term pie in the sky type stuff, but
yeah, I mean, the Ortholax and his gang seem to be, at least, if nothing else, plotting to start to advance on us. So, having something in the back burner might not be such a bad idea.
You know what, Bearded? I'm going to ask you for a long shot Arcana check.
Arcana check. Let's go.
Nat 20 or something close.
All right.
Nat 20 or better.
You guys want to like pump me up with any kind of like songs or like words of advice 21. Or something?
Yeah. You know what?
I'll give you
Bardic Inspire.
Yeah, Bardic Inspiration.
I'll give you guidance.
Yes.
None of you even know that he's making the check.
Yeah,
you know what?
It felt like a reflexive roll.
I'll allow it.
I just cheer you on.
1d8?
Yeah, 1d8.
1d8 for the
plus 1d4.
You look like you're thinking about something here.
Yeah, real hard.
That's pretty good. Tanira, you've noticed that people are getting upset about the paper currency. You heard some rumblings that throughout the Empire, people were upset with it. You're starting to get a really bad feeling about that. Like it's more significant maybe than what you realize. Make a medicine check.
Medicine.
Oh.
Okay, you're just rolling great over and over again. 20. All right. You were
Worth it.
there when more than one person got involved with taking what belonged to a dragon. The curse of Dragon's Greed. Taking from their hoard. You believe the paper currency may be causing the beginning stages of that throughout the Empire.
Because they're handing them out and it's part of his hoard, so people are getting that. I tell my rumblings to the rest of the group. My inclinations.
Sparky, does the curse of the dragon's greed apply when it's given away by the dragon?
No.
But it's
But
not
this
being
would
given
not be
away
the
by
first
the
time such a thing has been weaponized.
Weaponized.
Just keep the volume down.
Yeah.
Someone could take from the dragon, either with or without their knowing. If it was not with permission, what Tanira speaks of is possible.
The banks don't need permission; they could just give it out.
Does
least
the
whatever
greed
treasury.
affect everyone that handles that? So if one person takes from a dragon's hoard and gives to another, does the curse affect both, or just the one that took it in the first place?
It affects all who steal from the dragon. The effect is
Unknowingly.
diluted by both distance and time, but it will build up like a poison.
Does that dragon's greed increase the power of a dragon, or does it just apply a curse onto the person who stole it?
It is a curse.
Okay,
If anything, stealing from a dragon decreases its power
that's true.
drastically.
You're right. But I mean, if they keep
I am
making
right,
the
but you
currency,
don't. You don't know why I'm right, but I am right.
What happens when someone is cursed by this and the original dragon then dies?
The curse will subside. It no longer belongs to the dragon's hoard. The hoard belongs to the slayer. They are not also a dragon.
kill the dragon, take the curse.
Sparky, what happens if you kill the dragon? Would that mean, like, if you land the finishing blow on the dragon, would that mean it would technically become your hoard and your curse if everyone was
You
still
have
using?
seen that your language is unable to truly quantify what I'm saying, but absorb the soul of a dragon.
Mhm.
If I were to do so, eating it in what you might understand, it would pass to me.
I'm also thinking, since people are getting these paper notes and giving them gold, technically giving the hoard out is increasing the dragon's power because he's getting more gold in return.
Yeah, he's getting more tangible wealth. I mean, if the paper is backed by his hoard, and say we manage to kill him and take his hoard, then the paper is backed by nothing.
Yeah.
And then the paper currency becomes worthless.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about, if we wanted to stabilize the paper currency. Like,
He's literally giving out the curse and getting more powerful by getting the gold. Yeah.
We
Well-
don't know whether or not we don't know if it was a single dragon or multiple dragons we're dealing with here, though, because
That's true.
this is supposed to be multiple dragons involved.
You have made some interesting finds, some truly incredibly good rolls, and some inferences and deductions. And we'll find out more when we return. Live viewers, I have no idea if you can hear what I'm saying, but Twitch is dropping like 20% of frames at this point.
Damn.
I think that
Good
the Super
God.
Bowl must be absolutely slaughtering the server. So we'll just do our best with you.
And like the Super Bowl, people have paid millions to have this ad break.
No, they're not. Don't lie to the people. We'll be back in about 5 minutes for this non-million-dollar ad break. Okay, you are getting tobacco leaf.
Yeah, that.
How much?
It's like a little
Every
pouch,
town
you know?
has-
Some for me and the Godric, since I made us those pipes.
Okay. So a pouch is 5 silver pieces.
Okay. Done.
That's just to buy the pouch.
Oh,
Hold on, I'm getting you tobacco.
okay.
Leaf.
It better be a nice looking pouch.
I mean, it's a orcish weave pouch.
How much tobacco does the town own?
Orcish weave pouch.
I'm not doing this with you.
Come on.
It's 3 gold pieces to fill a 1 pound pouch.
Orcish weave pouch. Gold pieces done.
So, it's like a minor industry here. It's usually not worth mentioning, but the people of Orajban prefer a very rough, dark smoke
Nice.
to their tobacco.
I'm about that.
You know, it's like a cottage industry. It's not something they export because most people don't enjoy their...
It's not like elvish tobacco.
It's as harsh as their gods, who are, by the way, dead because they killed them all centuries ago.
So much tobacco.
Unless there's any objections, we're going to put the caravan underway.
Well, let's go. Roll out. As they say.
As the caravan begins making its way south, you find yourselves in a bit of like a weird place in the caravan.
Socially?
You know, your job is to essentially do nothing for long periods of time, whereas most of the people in the caravan's job is to actively maintain a certain pace and to make sure stuff doesn't fall off. You know, as far as vigilance goes, there's only 4 of you plus Sparky. The 10 hobgoblins seem to have the vigilance part kind of handled. They may not seem particularly skilled, but they are observant. So there isn't a lot to do, and you find that the other mercenaries tend to like rotate. They seem to be orbiting. Your boy Shorkan, the monk, literally is just like walking on top of carts and then just like lightly leaping between them. What does concern you though is that his leap is about 70 feet long, which definitely seems utterly inhuman, although it should be noted he is not in fact human to begin with. So
should we have a test run of what to do if we're attacked? You know, like how to split up the paths, how to avoid getting trapped, how to circle the wagon, so to speak, just in case.
Also, I've had an idea just now. Since I'm pulling the cart with Godric, doesn't that mean that Kithrix and Gwyneria should take the front area?
I'm helping all the people in the back exercise.
Yeah,
So
me and
Gwyneria
Kithrix
is the
are
only
the
one
back.
at the front.
I would
alone
believe
with
so.
her hobgoblin guard friends.
Learning sea shanties or sand
Sand
shanties.
shanties. Sand shanties. Come on, it's cool.
The land sea.
Were we encountering any bullets?
It's all right.
There was risk of
Do
bullets,
you
wasn't
ask? Do you ask about the bullets?
there? Well, I mean, we heard before that the bullets are
They
a
are.
threat.
They are a local threat here. Do you ask anybody in the caravan about bullets?
Yeah, look, I've never encountered them before, so like,
Okay.
is there a way to tell? Do their fins crest the sand or something?
So they seem. I feel like you ask probably the factor, call Brendor the human. He looks at you weirdly and goes, "You've never encountered a bullet before?"
I'm from a forest.
Have you
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, okay. So look, here's what you need to know. Bullets are kind of active on the west side of the trade road. They don't really. You're thinking too sharkedly. They don't really have fins that stick out.
This has been called land sharks before.
Yeah, they are called land sharks. It has nothing to do with the fins. It has to do with their teeth and their particular method of moving through the ground. Look, you know that the White Riders use thumpa-thumpas to attract bullets. That's part of
No.
their deal.
Tell me more.
Yeah. So Thumpa Thumpas, he goes in and talks about a device that is basically like a series of like wound ropes, like tension and torsion, and as they like let it go, it will systematically, like once every second, thump a drum beat against the sands in order to attract bullets to an area. It only works like one time out of 3. You know, like bullets have to be nearby, and they have to be horny, and they have to be hungry all at the same time to be attracted by a Thumpa Thumpa. But on the other hand, a bullet is capable of smashing a single wagon in seconds just from coming out from under it, and will regularly eat caravan people.
Do we have to train the elephants to walk without rhythm?
So the elephants don't set off, like bullets are aware of what elephants are and don't attack elephants. That's why they use Thumpa Thumpas. Is because of their regularity. It interests them. You know, bullets hear an elephant and go, "That's too big to fit in my mouth."
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, you know, he thinks that the risk is low, but you tell Call about the fact that there's an uptick in bullet sightings, and he goes, "Well, I'm glad we hired professionals. I hope you guys are worth every coin, huh? Huh? Hey, I saw that your dwarf had a bunch of barrels. I don't suppose you guys have like a secret alcohol supply or anything, do you?"
Maybe asking it in a few days because he is making some.
He's making alcohol on the road. All right, this I've got to see. I've seen a lot.
I don't drink that much, but I guess the question is bad alcohol worse than no alcohol?
Yes.
Yes.
I've had some truly bad alcohol.
Well, Godric is an exceptional cook. I don't know how much cooking plays into brewing because I've never done either, but
I've not done either as well. I
mean, I have cooked,
I'm a trader,
but not like gourmet cooking like Godric does.
Okay, I don't do any of that. I normally find someone to cook for me for money regularly.
Like all the time.
Would you like a good berry? From a good berry.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Oh, that's juicy. Oh. You know, I heard if you eat too many of these, it's just totally wrecks your digestive system.
It does.
I wouldn't recommend it. They are a food of subsistence, not a food of enjoyment.
Well, you know, I've heard that the goblin shamans in the deep south, they do like a cleanse where you eat a bunch of good berries and you just let it all hang out for a few days. You just process all of it. I don't know if this is appropriate to be talking to essentially what looks to be like a young woman child to me, but I'm assuming you're a full adult.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm like
anyway,
24 years old.
This is a really awkward conversation now that I'm actively talking about people pooping all the time. So I'm gonna. It's a great talk.
Look, I'll keep it in mind for the future. Not on this caravan, obviously, because we're busy. But you know, in the future when I have time, I'll keep it in mind.
The shamans of the south. You know, I hear great things. We've only been down there once or twice. The Sixth Circle doesn't really head down there that often. This is a real prime spot. I'm probably going to retire after this one, though. This is ridiculous. You know, somebody needs to do something about these people. Okay, well, this feels like the end of a conversation, so I'm gonna ride up to the front, and he just like gets on a very put upon donkey and begins slowly making his way forward in the caravan, which is, by the way, as expected, moving about 2 miles now. A deep south Goodberry Goblin Spa retreat. No, they don't have Boomhauser accents. It's the deep south of the desert Saharan Africa country. So it's like Chad, not Georgia. I know Chad is in the middle of Africa, but that is the local environment of the south of the Hobgoblin nations, kingdoms. There's a lot of talk among this caravan about alternate routes, paying somebody to set up patrols. At one point, about 3 days in, you come across a group that definitely saw you coming, and they're dragging a log out of the way and just standing along the side of the road looking kind of sheepishly.
So what were they taking a log across the road originally, and they moved out of the way, or
They moved the log out of the way when they saw a massive caravan full of elephants and trained mercenaries was headed their way.
Okay. Well, they look like they were trying to rob a smaller sort of thing. Okay.
Again, you've said it, so I feel like I don't need to make you roll for it.
Okay.
It does seem rather obvious now that you've said it out loud that they're just waiting for you to go past so they could put the log back.
Okay.
Gonna take a while.
They just sit down and set up a stew.
Say thank you.
Mhm. I think one of the nights we've stopped while Godric is setting up like his like cooking fire and all that. He asks Kithrix to come give him a hand.
Yeah, sure.
So I think this night in particular, aside from like the normal fare that he's making for us for like our party, he's got like a small like cake he's making in like a Dutch oven, and that's what he's specifically having you help with, is making that cake.
Okay.
And it's one of those like it's like one of those games. In one slice of the cake, there's going to be like hidden a gold coin, and the cake is for Sparky. But while we're working, Godric's gonna like just kind of offhandedly ask you if you're okay, and what was that crying in the tavern about?
Oh, I mean, that was just a day. Like, first, you disappeared, and I was angry, and I was going to fight that Giseri, and then we couldn't do anything about it, and we didn't know where you were. I didn't know if I was going to see you again. He could have sent you anywhere. He could have sent you to the Nine Hells. He could have sent you to the Abyss. He could have sent you. I mean, even the elemental plane of fire is a horrible place for people like us. Like, I had no idea if you were alive or if what we were going to do. I was just acting on anger and instinct and yelling at people and making threats about people's entire their entire race that I shouldn't have done. And then suddenly you were back and you were safe, and it just all came out at once. Like, it was just a terrible, terrible feeling, and I didn't like myself in that state. But I was just so happy that you were safe and you were back.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you were worried, and I'm sorry that I made you worry as much as I did. It was quite an ordeal for me as well. And I think I'm still processing the events and how I reacted to it.
Yeah, what happened to you? Like, what actually? We didn't really you just kind of disappeared and whatnot.
I'm going to make it really clear that if Tanira walks up during this conversation, she's getting put to work.
Take a sip and a walk away.
Like, you're going to have to like watch the meat smoke or something, make sure they don't burn. But
I'm walking back.
okay. So I'm sorry, what was your question? What happened to me?
Yeah.
I got moved to the plane of fire, and this drow was trying to convince me to help him become a lich in exchange for returning me back to the plane of existence. And I in that moment had a lot of really questionable thoughts come across my mind, and I'm not okay with the idea that my mind went there. I'm not okay with that.
Question: what's a lich?
Did I hear someone say lich?
Yeah, we're telling stories, Grenera. Get over here.
Oh, okay.
Grenadier is getting put to work too.
Yeah, that's fine. Guineri's all about that.
And Guinera, I just realised that Godric probably didn't know about the letter you received because he was gone when that happened.
Yes.
We should let him know too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Apparently.
hold on. When you start talking about the letter, yes, we know that there's frames problems. Folks that I was gonna say folks who are watching live. There's not. It's the Super Bowl killing everything. There's nothing we can do about it. You got audio at least. A incredibly annoying bird lands in the middle of all five of you and goes, "It's success play." It turns to look at you.
That's me. I believe I actually have. Do I have Speak with Animals?
You don't need to. As soon as you
okay,
identify yourself, it goes, "Your parents are coming to visit."
Okay.
You're pretty sure you were just the recipient of an animal messenger spell.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Honestly, I'm not even surprised anymore at this point.
You know what I don't understand is everyone seems to be able to find us, but I had to go and tell the post office where to forward our mail.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's you don't need to know where someone is to cast that spell. Thankfully, Animal Messenger. But presumably they're going to where they think I am. I don't know if I did send a letter, I suppose, to say about the key.
Okay.
Goldrick, I think the meat's ready.
Okay, and hands you a plate to take the meat off and let it cool down to a temperature we can actually eat it. Gwyneth, I thought you were trying to explain what a lich was.
Oh,
and then we got sidetracked by a letter.
Yeah. Oh,
Got a lid.
there's lots of stuff to talk about. Are you ready?
I'm
Marky
ready.
just interrupts you and it's just like, a lich is a mortal being who has decided that immortality and immorality are at the center of its focus. It rips its own living skin off, kills its own body, and staples its soul onto its own bones.
Yeah, I like the first part, not the last part.
Oh, that's interesting. I find most mortal beings will do anything in order to live forever.
You live long enough, you get bored with it.
Nah.
Sparky turns to look at you quizzically, makes a weird face, and then just goes back to eating his 1 gold piece cake. It's very Mardi Gras.
Anyway,
he gets one slice, and he gets to hope that slice has the one slice per day.
What am I? Is it 8 slices?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 or an 8. Which one is?
6.
I like high numbers, so we'll say the 8 is the gold piece.
10.
He goes back to eating his cake, and he's very sad that the promised gold piece is not in there. It's very Narcos, looking sadly at half of an eaten piece of cake.
Anyway, the lich is undead. You trade your life for undeath, so you're immortal but not alive. So it's a really bad trade. A lot of magic involved. Generally, it corrupts you, drives you mad, evil, all sorts of horrible things.
Mostly dead. Got it.
Yes, mostly dead and skeletal and swinging around magic. Let's avoid them. They're really not. Yeah. As for my letter, Kithrick, if your parents get to visit, I could use some parents. My mom's been kidnapped and my dad's off trying to find her. Isn't it wonderful, Godric, to have such turmoil?
That is a lot of family drama.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we have plans to go help find your mother yet?
It is so far. It is months of travel. We're going in the wrong direction. So, Father won't handle it.
She won't let us do it.
No.
I tried this
Yeah,
while
she's
you
kind of weird about it.
Okay. If and when you need help, just say the word, and I'll be there to support you.
Dragons are everywhere, attacking and doing things. I think we help just by defending people and building our hold. And once the Dragon Keep is resplendent in its operation, perhaps we can travel. Perhaps.
And I hand Tanira a knife to tell her to start cutting the meats.
Finally. Cut it, like put it in my mouth really quick to taste it. It's like way too hot. I'm like blowing on it while it's still in my mouth.
See, now you're not going to be able to taste the rest of the food.
But it was delicious.
Okay.
I think that you would
uh,
be okay with fire and heat.
Wow, Ganeria. Wow. Less meat for you.
I think dinner tonight is like a simple stir fry and some if we have any like potatoes, I'll do like some buttered red potatoes with like cinnamon on top, just so we have a little savory or a little sweet to counter the savory. And then I think Godric thanks Kithrix for her concern and for just being so genuine with the group. And for helping, essentially, like her presence was able to help level Godric out when he was all like fury and rage when he came back.
Well, I think we're all pretty genuine. Maybe not Tanira, but the rest of us, we're all pretty genuine.
I mean, to be honest, I'd probably do pretty well in the plane of fire.
Speaking of fires, Tanira.
Look, it's cooking, okay? The fire is fine.
I don't think that's what he meant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now we want to talk about it?
Well, we're all sharing.
Listen.
Why not share over a joint meal?
He was sharing about how much he missed you. Do we really want to go into my backstory?
So, Tanira, just to put this out there, you have already proven yourself, to me at least, I'm pretty sure to the rest of the group. I think whatever happened in your past, there must have been some justification. And whatever it is, if you feel like you still need to atone for it, I think you're okay. I don't
feel like I have to atone for anything. They got what was coming to them.
See, I'm for that. You know, my great uncle was like high grudge keeper, so like you just cleared the slate. That's all you were doing, right?
Exactly.
Can you elaborate at all?
They destroyed my family and my life just for, the way that we lived. It wasn't right.
Well, that's not cool.
We set fire to my entire house while I went for a walk in the night. My husband and my child went up in flames. My life went up in flames. But it was a rebirth of sorts. I got to meet you and you all, and now I just have to live with it and figure out what's next.
But I'm sorry that happened to you, Tanira.
Whatever burden you carry is lighter if we all help you carry it too. I mean, I don't know how much stock I put in those weird visions in the forest, but did everyone in that building set fire to your house?
Implicit. If nothing else. Maybe not everyone. But there wasn't much rationality to what I was feeling. Emotions were running high. Do I regret it? No. I did what I did, and I'm not looking back.
Well, as I like to say, we write down the past, and it's the past. And our goal is to move forward, to create new tales, new stories. I mean, there's so many boring things from the past, but together, the five of us, you know, we can make new tales, new stories. Greatness can be upon us. And together, I foresee, I suspect that whatever the past held for any of us won't matter. It's about where we're going.
I feel like the Dragonhold is a great start to what could be, you know, a bright future for all of us.
Yes.
I cannot say what the gods hold in regards to your soul, but I can say this, that the hells no longer have any hold over the non-secular and secular crimes that you have committed in the past. Your freedom was bought by your benefactor.
My benefactor. The pit fiend.
That is part of it, yes.
He bought my freedom. Huh. I think you know someone.
Did you say Pit Fiend?
Yes.
Yes. He was.
It's been walking beside her for some time.
I look around, looking for a Pit Fiend.
You can't, I mean, clearly, you know, you see no pit fiends here.
What do you do?
I don't think I bought enough food for a piffy.
No, he shows up when he wants to. But
Listen,
apparently not
Sparky,
for a while.
Godric turns, or sorry, Sparky turns to look at Godric, and the firelight is reflecting off of their flaming red dragon eyes as it matches glance with you and says, "No, what you have in your heart would feed a pit fiend indeed. You have already spoken of the evil deeds you would have committed."
I'm gonna change the fire flame to blue.
I mean, you can change the flame of the fire to blue, but it does not change the fire in Sparky's eyes. It is the purpose of the gods to test mortal souls, and it is the purpose of the hells to test those who are forthright and honorable, but maybe have never been given an opportunity to bring out their darker, more evil side. Again, that is evil in terms of, again, deific rather than the real good and evil, as opposed to types of magic used.
By this point, how long have we been on the road? I'm just curious to know.
This is the night of day
commute's been
3.
done.
Day 3
Okay.
night.
Because I would
24 hours, I mean.
look at Sparky and ask what Sparky knows of my soul.
I am no divine creature. I can see more than some. Have you committed actions you believe are sins against the dwarven gods? 6 of them that matter?
There are actions I regret, but I don't see them as sinful.
Has your god given you any indication, the stone-faced one, that they are displeased with you or consider you a heretic or otherwise? You still have access to your magic, yes?
Yes, I do.
They are a lawful being, a creature of words. That is not to say that they are not capable of evil, but at the very least, you have not fallen to chaos.
Mm-hmm. I know that things I've done in my past have led to my exile, but were I in that situation again, I don't think I would do anything differently.
The gods that you choose for yourself are the ones that judge you at the end of your life. And every god has their own way of seeing things. Consequentialism, deontology, all of these things are different for each deity, where they are not united in either purpose or in point of view. You worry for your soul? You are a cleric. Ask your god how you are doing. But if you are concerned for your soul, I do not see evil in you. I certainly see a capacity for it. But I see that in all creatures.
Yeah, so wouldn't everything have that capacity?
Not everything. There are some things which are incapable of divine interpretations of good and evil. Creatures of true neutrality. Creatures that would require what the angels would call falling in order to become evil, becoming a different version of itself, a different soul in a way. Such creatures are rare and beyond the bounds of a discussion around a campfire, but they exist.
I appreciate you saying that there's no evil in my soul.
There is one in this camp. Can see your soul far more clearly than I. If you wish to speak to them.
Like one of us here, or
The
Oh, it's not me.
who?
The Githeri.
The Githeri. Zerth. It is
No.
it is
Screw
a
that guy.
title among their people.
You're a cleric now. When did that happen?
I had a moment of faith and saw the face of one of our gods.
Was it after when you made one of your delicious meals? Because that's when I see them.
Speaking of, I take a piece of meat and I throw it into the fire as like an offering.
Make a religion check.
Where is it? There it is.
Religion check. Hopefully, it's better than Arcana.
Your
Ooh.
sacrifice to Stoneface is accepted.
If the I think as like a prayer, I'm gonna say that if the mead turns out good, I'm gonna brand the barrels with my holy icon.
Okay. I'm not sure that testing or taunting your god in such a way is a good idea.
No, I mean
But
it as like a
Hoping
I
for
mean it
blessings
further
is
as, like, an
one
offering,
thing,
a way
but
of
being
honoring.
like, hey, I'm only gonna stamp this holy icon if the beer turns out good,
yeah, if
is
it turns
one
out-
interpretation of what you said. You're testing God, which biblically in a Abrahamic tradition does not turn out well. But
No, I mean it. Yeah, hi. I mean it in a in like a reverent sort of way, not a.
we'll see. Your 18 is pretty good, so it seems that your prayer will be heard by God.
Okay.
Now, it should be noted that there is a like brewmaster among the gods that is not Bjorman Stoneface.
Yes, but I'm not a cleric to
Okay.
him.
I mean, it's just, it's a pantheon.
General, knowledge.
Plus, I think my holy symbol would make a really cool brand.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
If it's any consolation, I really hope it comes out good. Oh, my beer goggles need to focus.
Still haven't had alcohol in 3 days. It's
I had a
painful.
bottle before I left. I definitely drank it tonight.
Sparky turns to you, Tanira, and says, "You once asked me if I knew the name of the pit fiend. And when
Yeah,
I
he
said
never
yes,
told me
you
my
walked
name.
away from that conversation.
Oh, did I?
You didn't want to
Apologies.
know it. There is no
Uh,
need to apologize. I just want to check in and see if that is still the case."
Did I want to know his name? I
Yes.
mean, now that I know he's paid my, relief, I feel I should at least know his
Just to
name.
be clear, you acted as his bounty hunter and agent, correct?
Right.
That was
Yes.
my understanding based off of brief catchings of conversations.
That's generally how it worked. Yes, he said some stuff. and
Facilitated for you.
I did some things. So
I should say, I don't know this person's name exactly, but I will say this, that when such a soul is damned, sometimes their name is a revocation of their life, which is to say, it is their mortal name in reverse. That is how you can tell one that was not born to the hells, but instead fell to it. So I would ask you, if you wish to know the name of the pit fiend who follows you, what is the name of your husband?
what? What?
Sparky just kind of curls up, but is doing that thing where his eyes are barely visible over his tail as he stares at you with the firelight flickering in them.
I'm gonna put my plate down and just say, I need a moment, and just kind of walk to the edge of the firelight
Okay.
and just yell, "What the fuck!"
Make a religion check real quick.
Right. Religion. Where are you? I'm really good at that, right? We're gonna find out.
You have wisdom. Okay.
Up
We'll come
plus
back
2.
to that in a second. For the rest of you, you just see Tanira walk off, shout, "What the fuck," and then just kind of stare off into the distance for a little bit. What are you guys doing during that?
What'd you say, Sparky?
What? You surely must have heard. I was right here next to you while I was speaking. I told Tanira that her dead husband is the one who's been helping her gather souls to pay for her debt.
Is that? Oh, I guess it's truth. The truth. You wouldn't say that to be mean.
Why would that be mean? It is truth.
Well, if that's what I'm saying is if you were not telling the truth, that would be a mean thing to say. But I don't. That's not you.
I wouldn't bother lying to Tanira to waste her time. There's no value in that.
I'm gonna walk back and ask Sparky, did he know it was me?
I am magical. I existed from the first moment of time, but I cannot read minds, nor can I commune with him in any way.
Of course. And I just walk off again.
Poor Tanira. So conflicted.
So, is Tanira currently out of earshot of the group right now?
Yeah, at this point, yeah, she is.
Okay. Look, I know that we all accept Tanira for who she is, and I'm sure we've all done things in the past that aren't great. It only worries me that she doesn't regret anything. Like, if you saw the same vision that I saw, I just assumed it was a trick. But if she, like, I agree that what happened to her was absolutely terrible, and there must be some way to deal with that. But all those people, and then to not actually have any regrets about it now, to say, it's one thing to say that was a terrible thing, I would never do it again, but to say that I'd do the same thing given the same choice in the future, it just worries me.
I do not see it as good or evil. It is simply something that was done.
We don't know the full extent of what they did to her, how they treated her and her family. By dwarven law, she settled a grudge. While there may have been some devilry involved, like, we don't have the full story to judge her.
No, I feel like it would be hard to get the story from the victims, but I feel like we did see from the victim's point of view.
Well, I mean, we don't know. All we know is that they burned her house down. We don't know.
And killed her
Why it
family,
was.
yes,
Yeah.
but she also carried out a premeditated, concise strike, trapping dozens of people in a house and setting them on fire.
Was that before or after her family was murdered?
After.
After, she
She's
said
not-
that was her,
and
that
like,
was
so
her vengeance.
she's
She
not a
said-
total
we don't.
psychopath.
So we don't know what led to them killing her family first.
Fear.
Just fear. That's a douchebag reason.
Oh no, that's just my guess. That's usually why people kill each other.
That's fairly
Yeah, so-
accurate.
What I'm saying is, it doesn't seem to me like every single person that was in that house that burned was directly responsible. That if this is an eye for an eye, it's a terrible waste. And
It burns the whole
I-
world, yes.
I can't say that I wouldn't do the same thing in the same circumstance, but I could say that afterwards that would be something that would weigh heavily on my heart, and it doesn't weigh on hers.
But the good news is that it doesn't need to weigh on her heart because it no longer weighs on her soul. She has not been absolved in terms of divine judgment. She is not in the positive in any way, but she is no longer in the negative
But
for now.
the point, like everyone said the right thing, is that you can't change the past, but the past does still shape the future.
You can change the past.
Okay, well,
You
we
keep
can't
saying
change
that, but
the
you're
past.
wrong.
Maybe you can
That's like
change
the third
past.
time you said that in like all of our episodes.
Look, if you change the past, then all these stories that I write down and create and try and share and sing, then they're wrong, and I don't want that.
Anything's
what-
possible in the multiverse.
What I'm getting at is that she would, in the same circumstance, she would do the same thing. She hasn't that event hasn't shaped her differently. It's just confirmed the way that she is.
Probably. She will fall to evil, divine evil, once again. It is who she is. She cannot defeat her own nature, except through study and discipline, which is ironic because she's a monk, and yet refuses to do either. She is an alcoholic barbarian now.
You guys
That's
just
the part
hear
we
several.
played. This
You
is-
hear several thuds from the forest as I punch and kick trees.
This is what our job is, though, as her friends. Like,
Yeah.
we have to help her find these broken pieces of herself because she doesn't see the cracks.
Why?
Because that's what friends do.
No, I mean, why does it matter? I have no cares for divine matters. If she dies and goes to hell, we can just go there and pull her out.
But then, once again, nothing's been learned, nothing's been gained.
Make a
Nobody's
persuasion check.
grown. Right. I don't need to believe me. I believe me.
And that's all that matters. Oh, that was almost a natural 20.
That's it. It's the lowest thing I could possibly roll.
I mean, you
Because
could
one would be
re-roll
roll.
onto a 1.
Yeah.
Don't say that. You could re-roll onto it. But yes,
Yeah.
you are talking to Sparky about matters of consequence that Sparky...
Doesn't he doesn't think in those terms.
Yeah, divine
Yeah.
matters mean nothing to Sparky because Sparky is not bound to any god in the way that a mortal is.
Yeah.
And more importantly, like, again, Sparky's preconceptions about what is good and evil predate the existence of gods. And so this, like, eternal punishment versus eternal reward is meaningless to a being that can earn neither.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the sort of conundrums of D&D as a concept is the fact that in a world where people can be raised from the dead, how much importance does actually dying have? Like, I'm watching Vox Machina and seeing how it's like, oh, I died, but now I came back, that's fine. So in this case, Kithrix is thinking from the point of view of even though you can change these things, that they still happen.
Listen,
heard more
our
thuds in the
friend at
forest.
one point has been broken, and anything broken can be fixed.
That's not true
It
either.
just takes time.
Many things once broken cannot be fixed. They can simply be made into something else. Something resembling their original identity.
I would say that's fixed.
Is it?
I would say that we're talking in metaphors and Sparky's talking in absolutes.
Sparky is also talking in metaphors, but Sparky's point of view is much broader, including the entire timeline of existence, and also includes things like atomic theory.
Kintsugi.
Kintsugi, the Japanese art of fixing things. I would point out that very specifically, it does not return to its original state.
That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's what the point Goddard's trying to make, though, is like the Kintsugi, like we can fix it. It's not going to remove.
But
the
what you said
scars.
was you can return something to its original state, and Sparky said no, it will be something different,
No,
which
I
is the
said we
point
can
of
fix it.
Kintsugi.
So we can fix it.
If we can
And
change
she
the
may carry the
past,
scars for her life, but
We can change the past.
then we can go back to before it was broken and it's not broken, and therefore
I'm afraid to argue with Sparky, because I feel like if I piss Sparky off, the next session is going to be a repeat of episode 1, but without Godric.
Sparky says you would defy the very bonds of reality. Spit in the face of the supreme creator and attempt to use what many consider to be the forbidden magic, chronomancy, to turn back the hands of the clock, undo entropy, spit in the face of thermodynamics to fix a cup.
no, and that's exactly my point.
Very well.
Sarcasm. Never mind, Sparky. Never mind.
In Sparky's infinite wisdom, he doesn't understand sarcasm.
Sarcasm. A poor attempt at.
It goes right over his head.
I mean, Draconic is an
Woe-be
extremely
to-
literal language describing everything in its perfect state. So
It can't go over my head. My reflexes are too quick.
Sparky, you've got all of time to work these things through. We've got our little tiny segment, and so we have to focus on what is the situation that's in our time. I just hope that that later on, when we're long gone and you're still here, that these talks we have help you grow as well.
I have had other partners before all of you.
Were they as
And you'll-
loquacious?
And
as
you'll have
skilled?
others. You'll have others after us, but surely we'll still leave some mark.
Even I cannot see the future in its entirety.
There's a snap in the woods, and you hear like a tree go.
I think when Sparky admits that he can't see the future, I'd give him a second piece of cake.
Okay. He didn't say he couldn't see the future. He said he could see all of the future.
Either way, he gets a second piece of cake.
All right. I'm going to roll a D7. here.
Roll it.
On a 7, I get the coin. No.
Nope.
I like how it basically just rolled a D8 for me in 3 days.
Gave it to-
Tanira,
yeah.
you finish punching a tree so many times that it falls. And as it falls, you smell sulfur and brimstone and feel heat radiating behind you.
I turn around quickly.
You think very briefly that you can see something out of the corner of your eye. Something large.
Is it you?
From around the tree, someone steps, wearing white leather armor with a veil. I am not the one that you are speaking to, yes?
No. Who are you?
I am Zorkon. I've
What
been
is your
wanting to
business?
approach your group for some time, but the dwarf may be tempted to do something reckless.
What's your business with the dwarf?
My business is with all of you. Should we not coordinate our efforts together?
Depends on if your efforts align with ours. You said he might do something rash. Why?
He walks forward with his hands clasped behind his back and looks at the tree that you've just punched the shit out of and says, because he and his companions have a total lack of discipline. You have destroyed life. The life of this tree and everything that relied on it in a fit of rage.
Shit happens.
It does indeed. Bad things happen to everyone, and passing fecal matter happens to all things which have a digestive system. And yet, is not stability passing through life with some sense of grace to leave order in the wake, not the way of civilized beings.
Right. Do you have a title? What is your business with
Sir.
my
I am a Zerth.
Zerth? Great. I don't know anything about that. I have some friends over here that might like to meet you, and we can talk about it over there.
I was hoping that you might impress upon the group that cross-discipline training could help improve our understanding of each other.
There's a lot of big words.
I would like to spar with all of you at some point, but especially you. I'm curious where your strength comes from.
Right. Okay. I can tell them that.
Have you considered that you are a contradiction?
Yes, many times.
You can't see any eyebrows, but based on the way that the glowing eye shape changes, you're pretty sure you just did a single eyebrow raise. It says, very well. Since it's been about 1 hour since the last break, we should have another one. And with that, we'll be back in about 5 minutes for the finale of this episode. We can do that thing where you base your answer on events, and then you just have Sparky take you back in time so that you can tell yourself the answer without actually having to have committed in the act.
Season 3, we go back in time.
I mean, Sparky never said time travel was easy or done regularly. He's just indicated to you that it can happen. We know it can happen because the wish spell allows you to go back in time 6 seconds.
Didn't we use that spell to get you back?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, technically a Efreet used that spell. Man, time. So fucked up. Anyway, the Zerth is just going to leave you because you seem like you're having a moment and you aren't doing any of the things he's very plainly asked you to do.
I'm definitely not in any realm listening to what he's saying.
More like jerk instead of Zerth. Wow.
Yeah.
You get really petty when you're mean.
Listen, he ignored the rules of engagement in a fair fight.
I mean, you don't know that. You weren't there.
I mean, I don't know that as a character.
Oh, yeah. He just leaves and heads back to the caravan to do whatever he does. It's not really clear to you. Most of what he does appears to involve not sleeping and also running.
2 of my least favorite things.
You're a monk that doesn't like running? That's a rough career
I can
choice.
run. I don't like to.
You're a barbarian who literally get bonus speed, who doesn't like running? You have made some very unique character choices by picking the 2 classes well known for running.
Listen, I choose not to.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll go back to the group and kind of do one of these and like there was some creepy guy in the woods. He wants to fight all of us, particularly me. He's got like this mask. I think he's been, I don't know.
Blue eyes.
Yes.
Glowy.
Smells like ash.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't
Who
shake his
is it?
hand.
Yeah. Don't touch him.
Don't shake his.
But don't
Is he the guy that sent you to the?
You
The
sent me to
place?
hell? Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Right?
Yeah.
I should have punched him in his stupid face.
No.
Is there any more meat left?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Does he know that you're Godric's friend?
He
he
knows
approach you up? What
we
happened?
travel together.
Is the meat also a soup?
Yes, it's very juicy. Thank
Okay.
you for
All right.
asking.
He,
Hey,
he walked
listen.
away for a long time. It's been pretty well
It's been sitting, okay?
I said it was like a
listen,
like a
I
stir
heard
fry.
the meat was being smoked, and then I saw a dude do the noodle eating slurp. All right,
He said, I think he said, did you say it was a stir fry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stir fry.
I thought it was
yeah.
being
Yeah.
smoked,
Yeah,
and then
no,
he was
no.
watching
Stir
it while
fry.
it smoked. All right,
'Cause it's
stir
stir
fry.
Friday.
We've got
I don't
the
know
old
anymore,
fantasy
audience.
hockey and
Am I
noodles.
being gaslit about the stir fry? I actually don't know at this
Run
point.
it back.
I said stir fried peppers, smoked meat, and
Cinnamon.
cinnamon buttered potatoes.
I
For
remember
some
the
reason,
cinnamon.
I thought you were smoking meat, and that's why it was taking so long. All right,
Nope.
that does explain why you want to have someone watch it.
Yes.
All right. I think I'm going to go to bed now.
All right. Well,
Yep.
good talk, everybody.
Good talk. I think Godric just starts clearing plates and cleaning up.
I'll help.
Well,
Appreciate
it's not time for my little rest. I think I will go for a walk, check on the hobgoblins who are defending. Just boost their spirits, their morale, share some more tales with them. Seems like a good thing to do.
Okay.
In between just dealing with whatever leftover food we have, I'll make sure the animals get fed too.
While you are feeding the animals, you are approached by the Zerth or Khan. It's just the two of you alone in a dark space, no one around, in the quiet of night.
What do you need? I don't have any leftover food if that's what you want.
I wanted to ensure two of us were cool. You seem upset with me, which is understandable. But this is a professional commitment, and it need not be emotionally bound.
I'll do my job if that's what you're asking.
I am asking for more than the minimum. I want to know that we can trust each other if we fight beside each other. I want to know what your full skill set is so that I know
Listen,
how far I
it
can
comes to
rely on you.
blows, I'm not going to let you fall beside me because we have a job to complete. And that's my honor on the line.
Okay, roll deception.
I'm
You
not lying to the
literally
guy.
just told me out of character you were thinking about killing this man.
No, I was debating whether or not I would let him die.
All right.
And
I will
I
roll.
don't
I'm gonna
know
roll
if
insight
Godric's
then.
made that. Okay.
I get a +6. Let's see if he believes you. What a reversal of normal.
Mhm.
Inciting
know?
the
Just-
players.
Oh,
Okay.
You know you better than yourself.
What does he read off of you?
I think he feels that Godric really wants to see him like suffer, but as long as it comes down to the job, Godric's not going to go like out of his way to make sure this guy dies. Godric will do his job.
All right. He nods his head and he says, among my people, I am working to become a teacher. We are all scholars, but one must be a source of mysticism, understanding, and a fountain of knowledge in order to rise through the ranks of our society and become a more perfect being. May I leave you with a thought?
I mean, you can leave it. I'm not going to guarantee that I'll pick it up.
You get the idea that there is a smile based on how the eyes move. You are committed to the professionalism of us battling together on this job. Why then do you carry such emotional context when the last job where we met, we were both carrying out our professional duties as bound by the contracts we accepted? Consider if your emotions are not guiding your intellect and reason. Consider that I was doing what I was paid to do, and I executed it to the best of my knowledge and ability.
It was an honor duel, and you knew that I intended, before the duel, to genuinely shake your hand as a means of mutual respect, and you took advantage of that.
Perhaps.
And while you can say that won you the duel, or while tactically it was it was underhanded.
It was. There are many cultures across the multiverse that consider that a source of cleverness rather than dishonor. That the warrior who outthinks another is the superior warrior, rather than the fool who simply accepts what is handed to him and complains after.
When faced with a dwarf, do you think cleverness or honor would be my prerogative?
I have not met many dwarfs. But I ask you, what is more important to you? Your cleverness or your honor?
In the future, know that dwarves tend to prioritize their honor over cleverness.
What do you prioritize?
My honor.
I do not care about all dwarves. You prioritize honor, emotionality over reason. I see. Then I have made a mistake.
Yes. I don't want to be this angry towards you. But I think as my honor demands, that I'm going to hold on to this grudge for quite a long time.
Who do you hold on to it for? Why? What capacity do you gain or lose by emotional outburst, acting against intellect and reason, lashing out at those who have wronged you? Revenge is the act of the petty. Most transgressions are done impartially by those who have no emotional connection to you at all, and often are totally by accident. Basing your entire racial culture around grievance? I cannot speak to condemn an entire race just based off of this knowledge, but I ask you, is that logical? Do you feel better when you have settled these grievances? Or do you feel empty when you have drained yourself of your hateful emotions? And if it is the latter, why hold on to them in the first place?
We feel a sense of peace when the slate has been struck clean. For us, it's how we live in balance. If someone has wronged us, then we are unbalanced until it's corrected.
Let me offer you another thought then. Your story reminds me of my own people. The Gesserai were not always known as the Gesserai. Our great founder parted us from the Githyanki, a people of chaos and bloodshed, who care much for their personal honor, who brought conflicts to many planes and many worlds. They are feared among almost all opponents everywhere, particularly among the Illithids, who are perhaps the greatest foe of all beings in the multiverse. We found their behavior detestable and deplorable. We were Githyanki, and through meditation and calmness, logic and reason, and an understanding of oaths, we became Gesserai. You could separate yourself from your grievances. You choose not to. You have chosen a life of emotional violence and rage. I wonder if perhaps it leaves you hollow.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't see myself changing that drastically anytime soon.
I will not further pursue training with your cohort. It is clear to me that they are as emotional as you are.
Well, don't let me stop you.
I wish you well on your journeys, Godric. I fear that your travel through your life will be one filled with pain. And you hear a whooshing noise. He jumps really super, like ridiculously high into the night to land somewhere else. Are you guys memeing in Foundry chat?
No,
Jesus.
not at all.
I thought you could at least keep it to Discord, but you guys are everywhere with the memeing.
We're in the multiverse, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was thinking the way you were describing the whatever he is and the Yankee sounded like the Romulan and Vulcan from Star Trek.
Yeah, I don't know if they were inspired, but yes. That's all I've got for you this evening, the evening of the third night of travel. Anyone got anything they're doing?
Sleeping.
Sand shanties.
Probably wake up a little bit early there than normal.
You pass pretty close to the mountains that ring the valley Dragonhold is set into. But it passes without remark because there's no trade road leading into the passes in the cardinal directions around it. No one here seems to know that there is a small, let's call it a hamlet setting up in there. But you pass by and make your way just a few hours south. The scrublands and the forests suddenly give way to just a line of sand.
When we pass by, I want to see if I can find Guineria and discuss sending like the dwarves and elves when we get back to kind of like pathfind a way. If there's like a way we can make a easy road
Yes.
and just join a trade route.
There is no way to make roads easily. It is tons and tons of hard work, and they are already working on making the castle.
We'll
I'm
need
saying
more-
like
more
just find a
bodies.
way we can link the trade routes or link into the trade route.
It will take months of work, but it is possible.
We'll get there in time.
Joe, figure out a way for us to easily pass through from the Dragon Hold to the current town we were just in. Easier. There isn't already like a nice road for us.
Yeah. So what they're saying is they want to make a road that will add to this road that takes you to Orderspawn and to the Hobgoblin Lands.
Gotcha.
I think you guys need to make sure to write this down because you guys have told me tons of plans that you have for Dragonhold, like taxes and looking for resources. You have a priest looking for a consigliere for you. You've also talked to a Baron Cedric, about trade routes, and then you just never got back to him.
Well, you told him when
you
we
have
had more
nothing to
information,
trade.
we would.
You have no resources, but
We will.
Eventually.
you also dodged the hook for a judge after you claimed that you were owed the Blood Guild for every day of his financial gain. But then you said, sorry, our paperwork isn't in order, which I think was probably a
and sent alcohol.
Yeah, sent a bottle of alcohol as an apology. Well, hey, listen, that alcohol's worth almost 5 times as much right now. That dude's like, I have the last bottle of wine in the whole town. This is the best bribe I've ever received.
Listen, it all works out eventually.
You start the morning of the 11th day with some fucking sand everywhere. I'd like everyone to make a survival check to see how badly inundated with sand you are.
It's in the
Cornelius got sand everywhere.
It is extremely warm and dry. None of you are. Oh god, that's a natural one, Tanira. Look, you are a tiefling and you don't mind fire, but yikes! The sand is fucking roasting you. It's everywhere. It gets on your tail, and your tail feels gritty.
I hate it.
Everybody else nails it though. You guys,
Yeah.
I don't know
ride
that
on
any of you.
top of an elephant. There
I
you
feel
go.
like none of you have transited the desert before, but maybe you've talked to people, or you just use some common sense and you get through it. Tanira, it's a bad day for you. Yeah, you're Anakin Skywalkering real hard right now.
It's par for the course. I had a really rough night, really rough day. So we're just getting through it.
I want to remind you that your character was only able to talk with the Pit Fiend because of something called a divine channel, which you don't currently have. So while your husband may be following you astrally, he has no way to communicate with you until a divine channel's open. Is he with you all the time? You have no idea. You'd have to ask Sparky, who can see astrally.
I'm definitely going to ask Sparky some questions while we're traveling.
You also know that there's definitely someone in this caravan who can see souls because he's from the astral plane.
Is it the guy who I was talking to last night?
Yes, it's the Zerg.
Yeah, I'm definitely not talking to him.
He can also assassinate people by traveling to the astral plane and cutting their silver strings so that their soul dies.
OP.
You think that being sent to another plane is bad? How about your soul dies? Not your body, your actual soul is dead. Not great. Pretty bad.
Yeah, not the greatest.
A lot of the caravan members are like taking huge breaths of air and they're like, oh, finally, fresh air. Oof. They start like removing pieces of clothing. Some of them are like taking sand baths, which appear to involve to like rub sand in all of your private places just to get all the dirt out. You guys are like, what is this wild shit? Like a whole caravan full of people are just like, oh man, the sand, it's so good to be home.
Sandblast themselves.
I would ask Sparky some questions, but I'm currently knee deep in a whole bunch of sand everywhere, so not today.
Given that the Githeri has made some attempt to communicate with the Spirit of the Hatchet, then
both of the people you've talked to have rejected him and reacted deeply emotionally.
But what I do want is I want to say, Sparky.
Yes.
I shouldn't have said the things I said to that Githeri during everything going on. And I know that you back me up on that, but I don't speak for you as to whether you actually want to curse these people, but
I absolutely want to curse this entire people.
okay. I was going to say, like,
I mean,
if you
should
want,
I not do that? Is that wrong?
Well, it's for the wrong reasons. Like, I mean, I was angry.
What would be the right reasons?
Well, once again,
why is anger wrong?
We had this discussion yesterday. This is not about, like, the rest of his people were not involved in what happened. Like, they're a scattered people, according to everything I've heard.
Maybe, but it would teach them all a lesson. Don't mess with dragons.
But he didn't mess with a dragon. He messed with our friend in a way that he thought was right, even though I don't agree with that.
You were deeply emotionally hurt. You were crying.
I was, and I still am, but I still don't think that deserves anything like what I tried to purport you would do, or what you said you would do.
Okay. I won't curse this entire people.
Well, I was going to say it's up to you. I can't force this, but it's up to you whether you want to tell him that part.
Why would I do that?
Because that's a weight he's going to carry. He obviously respects you, regardless of what the outcome of that was. He
fears me.
It was. So, do you think that he should fear you?
Sparky turns to look at you with a very strange expression and then begins. You haven't seen it before? Sparky's getting a little bigger every day, and they're doing like a plodding, like wiggle waggle movement now when they're walking. You can see Sparky's wings are starting to come in, and it seems to be affecting the shoulder blade area, so he kind of moves weird now. It's serpentine.
Would you rather that he respect you for what you do rather than just what you could do or who you are?
I'll talk to him.
That's once again, it's up to you what you do.
Sparky's already on his way to go have a conversation.
Nice.
Wiggle waggling the whole way. One thing you know, Sparky seems totally unaffected by the sand. Like, off of the deeply embedded sandstone foundation that this road is built on, a lot of people are having trouble walking on the actual sand, and of course sand continuously goes over the road, and some of the hobgoblins in the front are basically like pushing it out of the rut to keep the carts from like derailing themselves, essentially. Sparky appears to, the sand has no effect on him. He moves at equal speed on or off the sand in fire dragon form, and he just like hops up on a cart next to the Zerth, and the two of them have a conversation.
That's all I needed.
I changed my cloak to like a really thin animal hide.
It really helps with the heat.
Yeah,
Just starting with that.
like a little
Someone
hood.
will see. I think that the caravan master sees you do that, and she rides over on her dire porcupine and says, "Sorry, I didn't get your name."
Tanera.
I actually did get your name. I just forgot about it.
Don't
Skosh,
worry.
caravan master here. She points to her desert garb with like a very white fabric, like heavy cloth, and just says, "Look, if you want to keep it out of your face, you need to get a cloak with one of these, almost like a hood, and it needs to be thick. I know that doesn't make sense, but it also has to be lightly colored. The sun heats it up. The darker the color, the worse it is."
Oh, thank you. I'm going to change it immediately to something white and heavy
Okay.
with like a hood, maybe like a
I
veil
mean,
in
you
the front.
start retaining internal heat, but it definitely helps with the sand problem immediately.
Thank God.
And you also begin reflecting heat off the outside. So while you are warmer in it, you are not blazingly hot.
Gotcha. Appreciate the tip.
Hey, no problem. You died of dehydration out here, it would really be a waste of investment. So, yeah.
Yes.
Are you punching trees?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
I'm a wood
So,
carver.
just real quick, hundreds of years ago, we asked the Empire on its formation to like plant trees along the side of the road to help with retaining water in the soil, to keep, you know, weather off of the caravans. It's just good ecologically. So if you could just not destroy the trees along the trade road, just go a little deeper than immediately right along the.
Terribly sorry. It won't happen again.
It's just that it helps the road stay intact.
Right. Yes.
You people in the north, you have such soft, muddy ground filled with soil or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Won't happen again. Promise.
Again, I get it. Sometimes I wish I could punch a tree until it breaks down. We don't really have trees until you get into like the middle kingdoms, but I'd punch a cactus for sure. You know.
That sounds painful.
I don't have that power though. I cannot punch trees like you do. Instead, she like pulls out like it looks surprisingly familiar. You recognize the sword is like straight edged until it gets to the end and then has a cruel, wicked forward point that is deeply familiar to you. The Mad Dog, his axe is shaped kind of like this. It's for chopping people in the head. They like throw up blocks, they throw up a shield. It's the part of the blade at the top gives you some weight. You go through, you hit him in the head with the hooked part.
Right, very effective.
Yeah, it's
tell you
super
what,
sick.
I'll plant a tree on our way back.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
We're not going back immediately though. You'll have to do that on your own. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Beautiful weapon, by the way.
Thank you.
Sort of
You
show
got
tell
like
or
pieces of
something.
wood? Is that what you fight with? You fight with wood?
I have these nunchucks that are pretty cool.
Okay, so that's like
Like
chain wood.
three part, yeah.
Okay.
But mostly the fists.
How does that work?
So usually I just punch them in the face, and that's usually how that works.
Then why do you have the wood?
It's cool. I like to use them in my training.
All right, it's a style.
I haven't had a chance to really use them in battle yet. Like, I'm just trying to get used to it.
Have you considered steel for its, flesh rending abilities?
Yeah, not a big fan, to be honest.
Oh, that's too bad. I was considering getting my blade cursed.
We
so
have
that
dealt with cursed weapons before. Don't recommend it, by the way.
No. Not that it would curse me, that whoever I hit it would be cursed.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
That
different.
would be very nice. I do have this boomerang. It's pretty cool for long range stuff, Just toss it out there, it comes back to you. Not as effective as steel, I admit, but I did save one of my compatriots from a witch one time. So not completely useless.
Sick. Well, I feel a lot better about hiring you now.
Hey.
All right, I'm going to go back to doing my job.
Yeah, me too. I will see
keep
you
your tail
around.
as unsandy as possible. You do not want to know where that stuff can get.
I already know. Okay, goodbye.
You guys have really awkward conversations with people.
I do not have a high charisma.
I don't know whether it's because your conversations are with me or whether you guys are just awkward.
Not. I play them like that.
Is there anything you all want to do before you approach the 2-day stretch? They're going to camp for 5 days to let all the animals rest and to let everybody get good and
Get
prepared.
Good. I'm going to help Godric with the meat.
Okay. The meat is done.
Oh. I'm going to help Godric drink the mead.
By the time you get to the place that they're stopping, it's been 15 days.
Yes.
Definitely people throughout the caravan are willing to pay you exorbitant prices for alcohol. at this point, allowing you to make back your investment and lost cost.
Yes.
Are
That's
there
all I was trying to do.
are there families on the caravan as well, or is it just workers?
There's not like any kids, but there are definitely interrelated familiar, like brother, sister, or couples. I mean, you know that the two of the mercenaries are brother and sister.
Yeah, but no kids.
No, it doesn't seem like they take kids on a 50+ day round trip through dangerous terrain.
Probably a good idea. Taste testing, though, went successfully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, how well did this turn out? Do you need me to roll for it? Or
I absolutely do. You have
Do I just need to
brewing
spit it out?
proficiency?
Yes.
Make a roll with wisdom.
Let's go.
So just flat wisdom roll?
Mm-hmm. Every time I go to Colonial Williamsburg, I make sure to get the Williamsburg meadery.
I'm gonna give myself guidance on this as well.
Speak to the gods.
All right,
Make it to the
critical
most beautiful.
I give myself
mead.
guidance on everything.
Okay.
17. It turns out pretty well.
Should be because it didn't have to produce bonus, so it should be +3 more as well.
20.
Because
20. Okay.
Just
You definitely feel like your god has certainly given you a little push in the right direction. When you sip from this mead, it gives you a feeling that you have completed a hard day's work and that your work was of value to society. You just take a sip and you're like, oh, interesting. And like everyone who takes it, the first sip, they're like, oh, yeah.
Drinks all around.
I think the first cup I pour, I'm gonna symbolically pour it out for Tanira's family.
Make a religion check real quick.
Do you say that?
I don't know if he says it out loud, but it's what he's gonna do. No, we do a religion check.
It was good mead.
Wow. If only you had rolled a natural 20. There was a not great ceremony when her husband was buried, and he was an unquieted soul, and you have now successfully buried him, and there will be drastic consequences.
Oh God!
In the divine realm, for someone who has reached near the apex of hell and then been given a consecrated funeral.
Oh shit, Tanira, I'm sorry.
What consequences those could be are way beyond you. So just to be clear, on a 14, you do it, but you don't realize the drastic consequences. I'm telling you above the table that this will have catastrophic effects on what he considers to be his life right now. Of course, his life is tempting mortals and damning their souls forever. So, drastic consequences could be good, could be bad. Was this a positive move for the world? Probably overall, yes. Certainly attempting to save someone's soul. However, you are consecrating him in the dwarven religion, so that is definitely going to be taken into effect. He is a dwarf, though. So.
You've shattered the multiverse, Doctor Strange.
I don't think you've shattered the multiverse. You've successfully completed a burial, which is pretty normal. Did he honor his forefathers in life? Did he do his best to fulfill his grudges? Did he extend courtesy to his community and speak with truth and act with honor? I don't know. Probably not, given the fact that he was a criminal, but
True.
The dwarven gods will now judge him in a way that only the Hells did before. So we'll see what happens to him.
Well,
The plot
again,
thickens.
you don't even realize what you've done. You just pour one out, and as a consecrated priest, you complete a funeral ceremony for him.
all right then.
Silent Bob's a weapon of God? No, the priest, he breaks the clubs. It's 5 days of partying, but the partying is without alcohol. So there is herbs, tobacco, and also some more psychedelic stuff that's being passed around. People are essentially constructing large, like, Bedouin tents so that they can stay as cool as possible during the daytime, drink lots of water, get as much rest, and well exercised. The people who were poisoned are doing fairly well, considering that they look like they were dying. And now, 15 days into the journey, with the help of Hithrix, they might be able to defend themselves for a very short amount of time. They're capable of, like, getting up and getting some exercise.
Well done, Kithrix.
Is there anything you all want to do during those 5 days? It should be noted that while you have been approached by the hobgoblins and, of course, the Zerth, Teal and Mente have basically kept to themselves, more or less.
Definitely want to. I feel kind of weird that I had to like explain the nunchuck thing. So definitely want to practice with my nunchucks a little bit. I want to do some meditation to see if I can reconnect with the what was it called again? The celestial thingamajigger.
Sorry, what?
the like I forgot how you said it earlier, but I was going to talk to Sparky about reconnecting with the pit fiend.
Oh, you needed divine.
That one.
Yeah, I mean, you basically need a god to make a collect call to somebody near you.
Got it. No payphone. Got it.
I mean, you could become a cleric and hope that a god plays. No, okay, well.
I would like to talk to the half elves at some point.
All right, you go meet the half elves.
Yes.
All right.
Season point.
Mente is like smoking a giant ass hookah with the hobgoblins, and they're playing knife games where like they take a hit and then they do knives between each other's hands, and the loser is the one who stabs the other person. It looks pretty dangerous, and you know, if you mess up, the other person's the one who gets hurt. But the hobgoblins are like 100% into this. Teal is seated on like a series of cushions and a rug near them. He's draped himself luxuriously in it and is just watching you with smoldering eyes as you enter. He's way younger than you, just to be clear.
Yes.
He's only like 30.
Yeah.
That's half elven years, so he's really like mid-20s.
Just a baby.
Well,
You think somebody in their mid-20s is a baby? What the heck?
well, for some of us, when you get to a certain age, everyone looks like babies.
Some boomer shit here. All right, well, who do you want to talk to?
I want to just observe the knife game for a little bit.
Make an insight check. Your booze sold out instantly, brother. These people were starved for alcohol, and you gave it to them during the night of partying.
Well done.
16.
Mente is cheating.
What?
Yep, she's cheating. She is casting magic where they can't see in order to cleanse herself of the effects of the hookah, and then just pretending to be high as fuck. You see, she's using her right hand to do the knivesies, but she's using her left hand to cast magic on herself while no one's looking.
I think I'm going to sit down next to Mente. And I am going to... Could I use minor illusion to create an illusionary knife? then that's what I do. And
Okay.
I set my own hand down, and it's like, you risk with everyone else. You should risk with yourself. That's the true challenge.
I mean, she looks at you and she just says, "You walked up beside me. I don't know who you are. You cast magic right in front of us and created a knife made of magic."
Yes.
She reaches over with her left hand and just moves it through your knife and goes, "So you're not really playing for real."
Of course not. I would never risk my fingers. They power the instruments. I shouldn't use magic to play this game.
Make an intimidation check when you say that.
Get it.
It's 14.
She takes her knife. She ridicks it, so she like holds her hand flat. The knife just keeps spinning against all gravity and odds, and then she puts it. She stands up and says to the goblins in Goblin, "My apologies. The honored elder is disturbed by my presence here, and she is afraid that I will hurt myself. I cede victory to you, Darkosh." And the hobgoblins are, half of them are celebrating, the other half just really wanted to see one of the two people get stabbed. So it's a real mixed reception here as she moves over towards her brother. As she's moving over, she says in Elven, she's just like, "Oh my God, you look disgusting. Who are you doing that for?"
I hear all that, right?
Yeah, yes, of course.
Okay, and Alvin, I have to add, probably for me, but
okay, he goes, "Whoa, hold on a moment, old woman. Who knew you'd be walking in here? How dare you accuse me of displaying myself for you? I just like laying down like this."
With smoldering eyes, yes. Okay.
I can't control how smoldering my eyes are. Make an insight check.
They always get his nose wrong.
This kid is
22.
He wasn't laying there to attract your attention.
Yeah.
You know how some people play characters and they want to be like, I've literally done this myself in this very campaign. I'm in a dark corner of the tavern smoking alone. I'm a mysterious. This guy's whole thing is crafting a persona of, I'm a very sensual, available sexually, powerful magician and great lover, and also very wise and knowledgeable, but he's also like a dumbass, and like, it's an act. It works on people who don't see through it. You're literally just like, holy shit, this guy is so conceited.
I head over to, I nod to the, and curtsy to the hobgoblins, and I move over, and I just sit down cross-legged next to both of them.
Oh man, so Teal like sits up and goes cross-legged as well, and is no longer lying on these pillows, and he's just like, by you entering something like a meditation stance, he's entering a meditation stance, and then he realizes what he's doing, and he's like embarrassed, but he doesn't want to show that he did it automatically because someone older than him did it. Mente is just like, greatly respected elder, and again, all in Elvish. Everything they're saying is in Elvish. Greatly respected elder. What brings your august presence to this place?
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Cease. Desist.
That has to sound so weird in Elvish.
Yes.
Please. My mother is a greatly respected elder.
Yeah.
Who's been kidnapped by dragons?
Allegedly.
Wow, backstory drop much?
All right, I will concede that I am blessed of the Canid Star, but I wish to just be friendly.
The two of them don't appear to have any idea what that means. They're just like, I'm blessed of the Canaan Star. You might as well have just been like, I'm the mayor of Agrabah.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Mayor of Agrabah. Now,
No one
You
said that. I'm just telling you
are.
that title is meaningless to them. They don't know what that means.
okay. I just wanted to come over and say hello. To understand your abilities, you're here to help protect the caravan, yes?
She reaches up and pulls her hood so that she deploys the frog hood.
Mhm.
And then she holds her hands out and says, Bulgaria. And in her right hand, there is a frog.
Oh, a lovely frog.
Summoning jutsu.
It's not a summoning jutsu. This spell predates Naruto by like a decade. This is my familiar Bulgaria. I am a powerful and adept spellcaster. And
dabble
also
in
an
spells
expert
myself.
with blades.
Oh. The spell blade. I understand. Yes, that's
My brother is entirely useless. He has given himself over to the art of randomness.
the art of randomness. Really? Oh. Well,
He looks at you and says, once I cast a spell and 1,000 roses rained from the air. Another
you know
time,
what's
I cast a light cantrip and a fireball erupted and killed 3 nearby villagers. I'm dangerously unpredictable.
so
Then
you're
he
gonna
goes back
get me
to Smolder.
killed, is what you're saying. Oh.
Whatever magic wants is what I provide. It speaks through me. I am Teal.
So pretentious. No wonder people have opinions about elves. Oh. That's
First
fine.
off, we're half elves, and
Yes.
we prefer the human half.
Oh.
Teal says, yeah, our dad was kind of an asshole, but at least he wasn't as bad as our elven mother.
Well, my elven parents are amazing, so I can't relate.
That's real nice for you.
Yes.
But it turns out all of life is a roll of the dice. And when it comes to randomness, we didn't come up on the dice.
No. Fine. So you're going to be useless then to us. Is that what you're saying?
Okay.
I stand up.
Mente pulls out a knife on you. It was just like, I'm sorry, what did you say? Her frog is now in her left hand, and it turns to look at you and goes, ribbit.
You're all bluster and pretension and attitude, and that can get you some places, but not everywhere that you need to go. We're all supposed to be on the same side, and you're giving me snark.
Maybe you'd like to step outside and spar.
I'd just as sooner launch a lightning bolt through you, but that would upset Fair Caravan Master, and I don't want to do that. So, put the blade
When you
away.
say that, Mente looks at Teal, and Teal is just like, they look like they're having a conversation with their hands about judging your level of arcane power based on you bragging about having lightning bolt. Let's see. They're going to make an insight check on you to see if you're full of shit or not.
So many insight checks on the group today. Oh,
Teal and Mente do not believe that you're powerful enough to cast a lightning bolt. And
Okay,
it's
is there a target
readily
around?
available on their face.
Is there a target around?
yeah, it's got a frog hoodie.
No, there's
No.
not. There are no standing targets in this makeshift camp, and there's nothing that you would want to cast lightning bolt on out here anyway. You could go outside and cast it straight up if you didn't want to hit anyone in this crowded location full of people.
Well, I don't want to hit anyone in this crowded location full of people, but I want to prove to them that I have this spell and that they should shut up.
I feel like you can find a direction to fire the spell off in.
Then that's what I do.
Through the entrance of the, like, you could move, get to the entrance of the tent, fire the spell out, and not hit anybody unless someone randomly walks in front.
Yes.
Someone randomly walks in front.
Then that's what I'm gonna do.
You know, Bearded, roll G20.
You
20.
got it.
Somebody gets absolutely fucking annihilated and instantly dies from this spell.
I shout out.
Oh,
It wasn't even close, guys. It was a whole two
close.
faces away.
Oh, come on. It was there.
Someone is walking and is just like, oh man, I'm having such a great day today. I'm doing the sand shuffle boogie. And then they hear you shout out, lightning bolt, what the heck? And he stops in place and a lightning bolt. Wow. You know, I didn't know it did that out here. He just keeps doing the sand shuffle boogie forward after that.
Mhm.
All right, Teal and Mente are looking at you, and they're just like shocked that you've just done that. And that's where we're gonna end. It's just Teal and Mente looking at you like, "What the fuck just happened?"
My favorite is the
Then
sand shuffle
we're going to
boogie
track
guy.
Nay down a 3rd level spell.
oh.
I have 2 more. I'm good. I'm fine.
Until the next night.
I'm not worried.
He was planning it. He was trying to get our spells out, and then he's just gonna send everybody after us.
I have lots of spells. I'm not worried.
Got 2
Well-
spells right here.
What are our post-episode thoughts on this deeply emotional non-battle episode that started with a lot of talk and ended with a bunch of offers to duel?
I mean, you need these sort of episodes sometimes because it's a way to explore characters, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of
Fun.
character growth in depth in this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Tanira flatly refused to have any character growth. Do you
That's-
feel bad about what you did? No, I'd fucking do it again.
Do it again.
Hell, the
I already
Dark
did
Realms.
it. I already did it.
I'm looking for a chance to do it again.
No, but I
I'm
did it.
looking for a chance to do it again.
I did not say that at all.
Oh, I wonder how that Super Bowl's doing.
Uh,
Very special episode of GFA.
it's 35 to 35 at the moment.
35 to
What?
35. That's improbable,
An
but okay.
actual game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter with 2 minutes left.
Wow, did they both make all 5 touchdowns with the kick? Incredible.
I don't know. I just work
It's
here.
my understanding that kickers were bad at their job.
Sometimes.
Well, see, the thing is, I play Bub Bowl, so you know,
Ah.
kicking is very difficult.
I know how good the episode is because my cheeks hurt from laughing so hard.
Oh, perfect. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. So we won't be back next week, but we'll be
Yeah.
back in 2 weeks.
Unfortunately, next week I'll be on a plane to Melbourne.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Well,
Sounds good.
in 2 weeks, it's going to be just a whole, probably the whole episode's going to be a fight. And it might be more than one episode fight.
Will it be Quineria versus these 2 half elves, or
Yeah.
You're going to get murdered by the White Rider trap.
Oh, yeah.
These guys aren't going to mess with her. She's way stronger than they are. So they were like, you don't have lightning bolt. And she was like, yes, I do. And they were like, oh, fuck, we're going to get rocked.
Their eyes were just like,
I mean, the average damage on lightning bolt is like 35, 40 damage.
Yeah, it's
Those would be
86. It's
dead.
maximum 48 damage.
They're not, they're you know,
That,
they
that
have
tells me they're
levels.
going to die next episode.
They don't have a lot of
we
levels.
predict them.
Yeah, they have 2 between them.
I feel like the Sand Shuffle Boogeyman is like the Avatar equivalent of Cabbage Guy.
Cabbage guy. You want Sand Shuffle Boogie guy to keep showing up? But only good things happen to him?
Exactly. He doesn't get hit by lightning. He avoids like massive, you know,
There's a bunch of
damage
boulders
things.
that come down on the cliff, and he's like,
Miss all
oh,
of
I'm
them.
doing the Sand Shuffle Boogie, even though it's not sandy outside. Wait, what's that? Just a massive boulder rolls past. He's like, whoa.
Oh, glad I
I
dodged
just
that.
assume he looks like Elvis Presley for some
I
reason.
always enjoy reading Neo Buzz's notes as well. Because for what he decides is important to write down versus not. Like, for example, last episode we didn't get the Countess's name, but this episode we got the Sand Shovel Boogie.
Listen, it's very. These notes
I'm
are
not the only
clutch.
person writing the notes. Someone is anonymous hyena writing notes right now.
Definitely me.
What was the dance from Pendragon that everyone was doing? The Abbey drop or whatever? I feel like Sand
Abby
Shuffle Boogie's gonna have to make its way into Salisbury.
Yep. Please.
Oh, well. Unless anyone wants to shout some closing thoughts at me real quick, I'm gonna call it.
Keep your elves in half elves in line. They should respect their elders.
Are you yelling at me to keep my elves and half elves in line? Or are you just saying it in general to the audience?
Saying it in general to the audience.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Call your parents, otherwise they will either turn up unannounced or they'll get kidnapped.
Yeah.
They're not turning up unannounced. They literally announced themselves.
They had no right of reply.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Animal Messenger, not Animal Messenger with a return envelope.
Could be though.
You're good enough to learn sending.
Oh yeah, I gotta write down we need sending stones.
Yes.
All right. Will we be back in 2 weeks or will we? Who knows? Time is weird like that. But the one thing we do know is if you're a dragon, you can go back in time.